y'all better start exercising y'all rights as humans. I'm gonna tell y'all a story time how my landlord tried to trample over me and tell me that she had the right to come into my property to do a showing for a prospective tenant that she wanted to lease the unit to. Long story short, we're moving, right? So I guess with that being said, my landlord decides that she's going to try to get another tenant in here ASAP. So with that being said, she thought that she could just trample over my rights, but I was not having it. Okay, so she texted me Wednesday and she just sent me a reminder and was like, we're coming to show the property today. Mind you, before I could even respond, she sends another reminder and says, never mind, for Friday, which would have been today. So I responded, I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm in receipt of your reminder that you sent. Do you mind telling me who you're bringing with you? Who's the prospective tenant that you're bringing to my house? You know, we still reside here. All of our belongings are here. I have minor children here. You're talking about bringing somebody through my house to do a walkthrough. And she responded, she says, oh, as a landlord, I'm not required to disclose that information. So I'm like, okay, you know, I start reading up on rules and regulations, trying to get my stuff down to a science. I had no prior knowledge to this, and now I know. But anyhow, I'm like, okay, she's not required, but that doesn't mean that I can't request this type of information. So she goes to say, well, you signed a waiver, and I went back to look at our lease, and I did sign a waiver, a 48-hour notice waiver, stating that if she did want to come in and show the property, that I waived that 48-hour right, and that I guess she could have came that same day, which would have been Wednesday if she wanted to. However, it does not state that if I feel unsafe or concerned for my privacy, that she could still trample on in and show the property. So that's what I had explained to her, and I'm like, okay, well, I understand that I signed that waiver, but that's just a 48-hour notice. That has nothing to do with my privacy concerns. And she was stating that, oh, she had to protect the privacy of the prospective tenant. And I'm like, well, you know, I'm still a lawful resident. I'm your tenant. So the fact that you're trying to protect their privacy over mine is very concerning. Like, that raised a huge red flag for me, because, like, what? Like, they have no type of ties or agreements to this house at all. I am actually still under lease. And mind you, I wasn't trying to deny her access. I was just trying to delay it to either we moved out or to come up with another solution. And she kept throwing at me that I was trying to deny her access without reason, because that was the only way she would have been able to take me to court. And I kept saying, no, I'm not denying, I'm delaying. And she kept saying, well, the state doesn't allow for a delay. And I'm like, where does it say that? She didn't even address that part when she responded back. But my whole thing is like, you're overextending the law. And I'm starting to realize that's what a lot of these people do out here. They overextend things and make it seem so harsh, like they can get you locked up and you're bound. You have to. No, you don't. No, you don't. Just read up on it and learn your rights. So I was like, well, we can do a virtual showing. And she was like, oh, no, they don't have the proper equipment. Well, I'm like, okay, like, really? That sounds like a personal issue that has nothing to do with me. Like, I'm giving you solutions and you're saying that you can't work with that. So then she goes, okay, well, you can be there while I bring the person in to show the unit. And I'm going, I don't want to be there. That's the problem. Like, I have minor children here. We want to feel comfortable and safe in our home, you know, while during this transition. And she goes, okay, well, then you can have a representative there with you and you can step outside the home. So then I'm like, well, no, at the end of the day, I'm not taking my children outside the house either. So for you to go into my home with a stranger and you're not even willing to tell me who this person is, like, you may very much well bring somebody who I really do have problems with in real life and don't even know. So she goes to say, oh, they're from out of town. This is the only day they had to show the unit. And I'm going, well, you know what? This sounds like a business issue rather than a legal one. And all because you want to get a tenant in here as fast as you can. And I also stated to her that under code 5303, that I am entitled to the quiet enjoyment and safety of my resident, as I'm still a lawful tenant. Then she stated that denying access was a breach of legal agreement, and I stated to her that I wasn't denying her access and I actually had good reason, which she was overlooking. Now, if you request things out of good faith, most companies are required to do just that. Act out of good faith with you. She tried to state that I wasn't acting out of good faith because I didn't want to take on her solutions of stepping outside. It's like, you're not acting in good faith. Your family's privacy is not compromised. I would never share information of you or the prospective tenant. Like, and I'm just sitting there like, lady, you can't be real. Even if you don't give me this person's name and they pull up and I know who they are, does that matter? Even if you take this person's ID and you have their information and they decide to come back later and rob me of all my valuables because they decided they like my flat screen on the TV, like anything, you're making it seem like you're not being realistic. And whether or not I really felt this way was not even the issue. What was most important to me is the fact that she kept skipping over my concerns. She kept trying to make it seem as if I didn't have rights. And that was the bigger issue. And that's what caused me to press it even more, because it was like, you know what? I could have just threw my hands up and said, you know what? Sure, come in, show the property. But no. If you never put your foot down, people will always walk over you. And I'm tired of that. Like, that stops here. It stops here. Like, when she felt like she was backing me into a corner, baby, I was backing her right back into hers. Let me tell y'all, today's Friday. Did she come trying to trample on in here and show this house? No, because she knew she was wrong. Did she also try to throw something else in there, stating that, oh, if she loses out on a tenant to secure the unit and get her rent for that, then I will be responsible. And I had let her know that, oh no, honey, you're actually wrong about that as well, because we actually paid our last month rent at lease signing. So our rent has been paid in full, and whatever money that you lose out on is strictly on you. Like, I did my part. And I'm going to make sure that the property is well kept, maintained, so that I can get my security deposit back. But as far as me being the reason why you lose out on a future tenant's income, has nothing to do with me. Like, you can wait until we get out. Like, it's not going to be that long until we leave. Like, you're making it seem like you have to, absolutely have to. Like, it's not that serious. So what happened was, she never texted me back. My boyfriend said he ended up seeing her at the neighbor's house doing the showing, because I guess we have like the same floor plans or whatever. But yeah, like, you're not just gonna walk over me and try to throw all these codes and laws and rules and regulations as if I don't also have rights as a human, as a citizen, and as a tenant. Like, I'm a landlord myself. You're damn right I'm going to read up on this stuff and get to know the law, because especially, I'm not trying to make this about race or anything like that, but these YT people always think that they can try to throw a law book at you, titles and codes and regulations, and I'll be reading right up on them. Because who? Did she come here today? No. I ain't get no knocks on my door. I was in here sleeping peacefully. I had me a good nap. So y'all need to start exercising y'all rights and stop allowing people to walk over y'all. I'm here to say that I'm one of those people that will do all the research and digging that I need to, because what I cannot stand is for when somebody tell me that I can't do something when I can.